The runway lies quiet in the early morning darkness, a long stretch of concrete waiting beneath the pale glow of airfield lights. A soft wind moves across the base, carrying the distant hum of generators and the quiet movements of ground crews preparing for another mission. In the distance, a sleek silhouette rests in the shadows, its shape unlike any traditional aircraft. Wide, smooth, and almost ghost-like against the dim horizon, the Northrop Grumman B-21 Raider sits silently as technicians complete their final checks. The aircraft's dark surface absorbs the light rather than reflecting it, designed to remain nearly invisible to the eyes of radar and surveillance systems. As dawn slowly begins to color the sky, the aircraft comes alive. Power flows through its systems, internal computers awaken, and sensors begin scanning the environment. The ground crew step back as the engines begin to build a deep and controlled roar, not loud but powerful, like distant thunder rolling across the sky. Moments later the aircraft begins to move, slowly rolling forward along the taxiway. Its motion is smooth and deliberate, guided by a pilot who understands the responsibility of the mission ahead. The airfield lights stretch out in long reflections across the runway as the bomber approaches the starting point for takeoff. The horizon is now glowing with the first colors of sunrise. Orange light spreads across the sky, casting long shadows across the base. For a moment everything feels calm and almost peaceful. Then the engines increase their power. The aircraft accelerates down the runway, faster and faster, the air vibrating around its wings. Within seconds the wheels leave the ground and the bomber rises smoothly into the morning sky. The runway disappears beneath it as the aircraft climbs higher, carrying with it the quiet determination of a mission that will take it across vast distances. As the bomber gains altitude the world below begins to shrink. Roads become thin lines, buildings turn into tiny shapes, and the base fades into the landscape. The aircraft moves through the open sky with remarkable stability, cutting through the winds with the efficiency of a design built for stealth and endurance. High above the earth the air becomes colder and thinner, yet the aircraft moves effortlessly. Clouds drift across the sky like floating mountains of white, and the bomber glides between them as if it were part of the sky itself. From this altitude the sunrise becomes a spectacular display of color. Golden light spreads across the clouds, turning them into glowing waves that stretch to the horizon. The aircraft moves forward silently, leaving only faint trails in the air behind it. Soon the mission path leads toward a range of towering mountains. Their peaks rise sharply from the earth, covered with snow that glitters in the sunlight. The bomber descends slightly, moving closer to the terrain as it approaches the narrow valleys between the peaks. The mountains create powerful air currents that swirl around the cliffs and ridges. Yet the aircraft's advanced control systems keep it perfectly balanced. It glides through the valleys with precision, its wide wings slicing through the mountain winds. Shadows from the peaks stretch across the valleys like dark rivers. From above, the mountains appear both beautiful and dangerous, a reminder of the powerful forces of nature that shape the world. The bomber passes between two massive peaks, its smooth form contrasting with the jagged rock faces around it. For a moment the aircraft seems to vanish into the landscape, blending with the shadows and the shifting clouds that cling to the mountainsides. Beyond the mountains lies a vast forest stretching for hundreds of miles. The green canopy looks like a living ocean of trees, moving gently in the wind. The bomber continues its journey, flying high above the forest where the early morning mist rises between the trees. Sunlight filters through the drifting fog, creating beams of light that move slowly across the landscape. Rivers wind through the forest like silver ribbons, reflecting the sky above. Wildlife moves quietly below, unaware of the aircraft passing silently far above. The bomber's stealth design allows it to move through the sky almost unnoticed. From a distance it appears as nothing more than a shadow crossing the clouds. Yet inside the aircraft advanced systems continue to monitor every detail of the mission, collecting data and maintaining communication with command centers far away. Hours pass as the aircraft travels across the world. The forest gradually gives way to open land, and soon the coastline appears on the horizon. The bomber approaches the vast expanse of the ocean. From above the water stretches endlessly in every direction, a deep blue surface that reflects the bright sky above. Waves move slowly across the sea, forming patterns that change constantly with the wind. As the aircraft crosses the shoreline the sound of the ocean fades into the distance, replaced by the quiet hum of the engines and the steady rhythm of flight. Sunlight glitters across the water like countless small mirrors. The bomber moves across this enormous landscape with calm precision, maintaining its course across the open sea. Clouds begin to gather ahead, forming thick layers that stretch across the sky. The aircraft climbs slightly and then enters the clouds. Instantly the outside world disappears into a soft white haze. Moisture moves across the aircraft's surface as it pushes through the dense cloud layer. Inside the cockpit the instruments glow softly, guiding the pilot through the hidden sky. Suddenly a flash of lightning illuminates the clouds for a brief moment, revealing towering storm formations surrounding the aircraft. Thunder echoes through the sky, yet the bomber continues forward without hesitation. Its systems track the weather patterns and adjust the flight path to maintain stability. Gradually the aircraft emerges above the storm, rising into clear air once again. Above the clouds the sky is calm and bright, a peaceful world far removed from the turbulence below. But the mission is far from over. In the distance, unseen sensors begin to detect signals from enemy systems. Radar beams sweep across the sky, searching for any sign of approaching aircraft. Far below, defense networks activate, scanning the horizon with powerful detection equipment. The bomber's stealth design becomes its greatest advantage. Its shape and special materials scatter radar signals, making it extremely difficult to detect. Yet the risk of confrontation remains. Suddenly warning systems inside the aircraft indicate that enemy tracking systems are attempting to locate it. The sky remains quiet for a moment, and then a distant flash appears far below. A missile launches from the ground, leaving behind a bright trail of smoke as it climbs rapidly toward the sky. The aircraft responds instantly. Defensive systems activate, analyzing the missile's speed and trajectory. The pilot makes a slight adjustment to the aircraft's path while electronic countermeasures begin to disrupt the guidance systems of the incoming weapon. The missile continues its climb, closing the distance quickly. For a brief moment the sky becomes a tense battlefield of technology and timing. Then the aircraft releases defensive flares that burn brightly as they scatter into the air. The missile's sensors become confused by the sudden burst of heat and light. Its path shifts, turning away from the aircraft and exploding harmlessly in the distance. The bomber continues forward, its systems returning to silent operation as the sky grows calm once again. With the immediate threat avoided, the mission continues toward its objective. Far ahead lies the target area, hidden within a region protected by sophisticated defense systems. The bomber approaches carefully, maintaining its stealth profile while sensors scan the environment. From high above the landscape appears quiet, yet the aircraft's instruments reveal the complex network of radars and installations below. The pilot prepares for the next phase of the mission. Inside the aircraft precise navigation systems guide it to the correct position. The bomber moves silently through the darkness of the upper atmosphere, almost invisible against the night sky. At the exact moment required by the mission plan the aircraft's internal systems activate the strike sequence. Hidden doors open beneath the bomber's body, revealing the carefully secured payload within. For a brief moment the aircraft maintains perfect stability. Then the weapons release, falling silently through the darkness toward their targets far below. Guided by advanced navigation systems, they travel with incredible accuracy. Seconds later distant flashes of light appear on the horizon as the targets are struck. The explosions are powerful but controlled, their shockwaves spreading across the landscape. From high above the bomber observes the results through its sensors. The mission objective has been achieved. With the strike complete the aircraft begins its return journey. The bomber turns smoothly away from the target area, climbing once again into the higher atmosphere. Behind it the distant horizon glows faintly where the explosions occurred. Yet ahead the sky stretches wide and empty, offering a long path back home. The aircraft travels once again across the ocean, where the moonlight reflects across the waves below. Hours pass as the bomber moves steadily through the night. Eventually the first signs of dawn appear on the horizon, just as they had when the mission began. The mountains appear once more, their peaks glowing softly in the early morning light. The aircraft passes above them, leaving behind the dramatic landscapes of the mission path. Soon the forests come into view again, followed by the familiar terrain surrounding the home airbase. Communication signals reconnect with the control tower as the aircraft approaches its destination. The runway lights illuminate the ground below, guiding the bomber toward its landing path. The aircraft descends gradually, lowering through the calm morning air. Its landing gear deploys smoothly as it aligns perfectly with the runway. The engines reduce power while the aircraft glides closer to the ground. Within seconds the wheels touch the runway with a gentle impact, and the bomber rolls forward as the pilot carefully slows its speed. The mission has ended exactly where it began. As the aircraft taxis back toward the hangar, the rising sun lights the entire airbase with warm golden color. Ground crews gather nearby, ready to guide the bomber back to its resting place. The engines power down slowly, and the once silent aircraft becomes still again. After traveling across mountains, forests, oceans, storms, and hostile defenses, the mission has been completed successfully. The Northrop Grumman B-21 Raider rests quietly once more, waiting for the next call to rise into the sky and continue the unseen work of missions that shape the balance of power across the world.